الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. All praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who enabled us to reach this month of Ramadan, to fast within it and to establish our worship. That's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He grants us istiqamah upon our worship. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept everything from us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes this month of Ramadan a means of our forgiveness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. The month of Ramadan is the month wherein the Quran was revealed. So this Quran undoubtedly is all about the Quran. One of the things that stands out about this month for us is the Quran. This is a month in which we are encouraged and we are inspired to read as much of the Quran as possible. This is a month in which we stand in Taraweeh and we listen to the Quran. Alhamdulillah, we're fortunate here to be able to listen to the entirety of the Quran. So the Quran is what the whole of the month of Ramadan is centrally about, and the message of the Quran. So I want to just start talking a little bit more about the Quran, inshallah. But before I begin to speak about particularities about the Quran, firstly we should understand the revelation of the Quran, how the revelation came, what it meant for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yesterday I slightly touched upon it, so I thought it's probably a good topic to discuss a little bit further. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran, إِنَّا سَنُلْقِي عَلَيْكَ قَوْلًا ثَقِيلًا, that indeed we are revealing upon you a weighty word. And I mentioned yesterday that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam physically, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was affected by the revelation of the Quran. And when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was receiving the Quran, the people witnessed the effects of the Quran. So it wasn't just something that was personal to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it was witnessed by the people. So one of the things I mentioned is that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, إِنَّا سَنُلْقِي عَلَيْكَ قَوْلًا ثَقِيلًا, we're revealing upon you a weighty word. When the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam received the revelation, suddenly his body became very, very heavy. And if he was upon an animal, the animal lowered down until he was touching the ground. And so Aisha radiallahu ta'ala says that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to receive revelation and he would begin to sweat and perspire. Droplets of sweat would be falling down his forehead. Even in the coldest of days. Even in the coldest of days. And as soon as the revelation ended, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam suddenly would completely transform back to normal and he would begin to recite the revelation. And the Prophet ﷺ had an eagerness to make sure that he memorized the revelation and passed it on. So he would, as soon as the revelation was revealed, the Prophet ﷺ would begin to repeat the revelation, repeat it, in order that he didn't forget it. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put it upon himself to give the Prophet ﷺ the confidence that you don't need to worry about anything. The revelation is coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who will protect it. Allah says in the Quran, in Surah Muzammil, لا تحرك به لسانك لتعجل به إن علينا جمعه وقرآنه. That don't hurry in hasting your tongue in order to gather it, in order to remember it. We're the ones who will gather it for you and we're the ones who will make you recite it. So the Prophet ﷺ, from that day onwards, the Prophet ﷺ's revelation come and the Prophet ﷺ will be silent. Some of the companions say that when they were close to the Prophet ﷺ and the revelation was coming, they could hear like the humming of bees. So there's a sound, there's revelation coming to the Prophet ﷺ, and they had, like you could say, a frequency that the Prophet ﷺ was receiving this. And from the very, very beginning, you had these effects. And we all know when the Quran came, when Jibreel alayhi salam initially brought the Quran and recited those special words, Iqra, and the Prophet ﷺ said, Ma ana biqari'in, and he was squeezed by Jibreel alayhi salam until the Prophet ﷺ said that I felt like I was about to pass out. That was physically preparing the Prophet ﷺ revelation. And the beautiful thing about the revelation of the Quran is that it didn't matter where the Prophet ﷺ was, the Quran followed him. The Prophet ﷺ returned back home and asked Sayyidah Khadija radiallahu ta'ala, Zammiluni, cover me up with cloth, And the Prophet was covered up in a blanket. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala began to reveal more verses of the Quran. Ya ayyuhal muddathir, or you was wrapped up in the clothing. Ya ayyuhal muzammil, one was wrapped in the blanket. The state that the Prophet was in is mentioned in the Quran. The Quran mentions the state. Another unique thing that we see about the Quran is that it was revealed over the course of 23 years. In fact, one interesting thing is that the hadith of the Prophet in which the Prophet said that after revelation is nothing except true dreams. And the Prophet said that true dreams are 1/46th part of revelation.
Allah.
And the amazing thing is that the Prophet before he received revelation, for 6 months the Prophet received dreams. And the Prophet would say that I used to see things in my dreams, and then the next day I would see it in reality.
Subhanallah.
And it was like the breaking of dawn, meaning that it was so clear I couldn't even doubt myself.
Allah.
For 6 months the Prophet experienced this, then revelation began. So the Prophet said, true dreams are 1/46 of revelation. For 6 months the Prophet received those true dreams. And if you multiply that by 46, that's 23 years. 1 of the 46 is a 6-month period. So the Prophet received revelation over a 23-year period, and that's what those words meant of the Prophet. There's a lot to say about revelation, and there's a lot to say about particular things that came in the revelation. I'm just going to end at one point. The Quran, whoever it attached to, it brought them elevation.
Allah.
The Quran was sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through Jibreel alayhi salam. Jibreel alayhi salam is the most elevated, the most superior of the angels. Is revealed upon the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the most superior of prophets.
Allah.
Is revealed in the Haramain, Makkah and Medina, the most superior land upon earth.
Allah.
Is revealed in the month of Ramadan, the most superior
Allahu
month.
Akbar. Subhanallah.
And that's the indication that we want supremacy, we need to attach ourselves to the Quran. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that this book, the Quran, is a book which raises certain people and it debases certain people. And for sure, the people who are raised are the ones who attach themselves to the Quran and apply it. And the ones who are debased are the ones who turn their backs upon the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us amongst those who are connected to the Quran, and by virtue of the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala elevate us. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah.